So, we're talking about All Happy Families today, which is a comedy drama from director Haroula Rose. It's written by Coburn Goss and Haroula Rose. And look who's here. We've had them on before, just before Christmas. They are back. Not doing horror this time, though. That's nice, isn't it?
Well, there are elements of horror.
Was there?
Which film do you think we're talking about, Max? The way I remember is that one has quite a lot of sex in it and the other one doesn't.
So it's Katherine, Ellis and Max Ellis. How have you been? Busy?
Very busy. I've been zipping about. We've been to Belgrade, haven't we, Max?
Mm-hmm.
I went to Skegness. I've got to Glasgow this weekend and Seville next weekend, Phil.
You can push some of your events at the end if you like.
Oh, okay. I won't talk about them now, then.
Let's talk about the film, shall we? This is a comedy drama about a dysfunctional family. That's what drew me in. Just watching the trailer, it doesn't really give much away, but I love films that are about things that go wrong, and especially people that don't get on. I think there's quite a lot to unpack with this movie. Did you enjoy this? Can you remember which one we're talking about?
Are we talking about Audrey now?
No, we're not talking about. That's the next one.
Talk about the one with the sex in it. I thought you changed your mind. Okay, so we're talking about All Happy Families. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say I did enjoy. It's one of those ones that I think's getting better as time goes on. I enjoyed watching it, but it's kind of little things keep coming back to me about it, which is nice. You know, you get little flavours of it and things crop up in your head and you think, oh yeah, that was that film. What was interesting is almost like it was the first part of a series. So it felt like, you know, you were seeing something which is going to be expanded upon a bit.
Like a soap opera.
Yeah, kind of. You know, like a 5-part mini-series on Netflix or something like that. It had that kind of feel about it, where you were getting introduced to a lot of characters and there was a lot of interplay between the characters and quite complex relationships sort of building up. I mean, the way that it was filmed was quite interesting as well. When I was watching it, I felt very much like I was almost watching a storyboard of the movie. So you'd see those frames come up, like in particulars, that one where he rushes out of the room and the focus is still on the chair, and and the jacket goes from the chair, and that's that kind of trick that they do where they focus on a frame and then hold the frame, and then something else happens in the frame.
Let's talk about the story. So it's a portrait of family dysfunction. 2 competitive brothers and their parents. They're reuniting in their childhood home for a very busy weekend, in more ways than one, revealing secrets and airing out long-held resentments. So you've got one brother who is quite popular. He's in a TV soap, isn't he, on TV? The other one is,
he's a famous
kind of
actor.
like the other one's a struggling actor.
And writer.
Yes, and it turns out that he writes the soap that his brother is in, which causes a bit of conflict. So that was quite funny. So, I mean, it's in Chicago. It's based in Chicago. There's some really funny scenes. I laughed out loud quite a few times at this, but it's subtle, isn't it? Because it's like one of those subtle indie comedies that you can relate to, I think, because I think we've all been in situations that are similar to the situations that play out in the film.
I suppose it's a sort of, you know, Mike Leigh does that, doesn't he? I mean, this was in no way as dark as anything Mike Leigh's done, but it's that kind of slice of life, and you get to know all the characters. I really liked the lead character. I thought he was excellent.
That's Josh Radnor.
Downtrodden brother who, you know, was a bit unkempt and a bit of a stoner and a bit sort of useless.
Yeah.
But I suppose the thing is, although like the mum and dad had been married for a long time, she just retired. I don't know how much we're allowed to say after, and something unpleasant happens at work, which comes to light. Her and her husband seem quite bored with each other, really. But it's quite nice because he ends up standing up for her when this man has sexually sort of touched her big old boob. And it all comes to light, and then her husband ends up punching him, and then, you know, the other brother gets done at work. I don't want to say too much; we'll give away the whole plot. But he does something bad at work, and even though all of them have got their problems, and they probably don't get on that well, they kind of end up sort of helping each other. They're a family, and they do love each other.
No, you're right there, because there are sensitive subject matters that are dealt with sensitively, I think, but they're not ignored. I mean, there are a couple of plot points around harassment, like you mentioned, the sexual harassment at work, and she's just about to retire. And there's also details of trans youth as well. There's a girl It's the daughter, isn't it, of
Yeah.
the brother that's in the soap. And I thought that was really charming, actually. And also, it felt like the family, most of the, I think all of them were on her side as she was coming out as a trans girl.
It took the granddad a while, didn't he? But he realised that he was being that he'd been slow to accept it.
That almost meant more to her than anything, didn't it? That the grandfather was kind of coming to terms with it. You could see that was the most important thing, really. But the funniest part for me was the DIY, because I've been doing a lot of DIY. And the bit where he's put the shower sealant on, it's just all squirting on. Then he sort of pokes it about a bit with a stick. Oh, God, that's me.
It's literally what our bathroom window looks like.
I think we've all been in situations like that, and I think a lot of people are going to relate to those scenes.
It's all
because
very relatable. I could relate to them all, really.
I think the characters were really endearing, like because of those faults and those flaws that they had. I think because nobody's perfect. Everyone has something that they've done wrong. But the characters weren't... I mean, it was a good character development as well, a good character study, because a lot of the characters weren't forgotten about. They came back to that plumber Philip at the end, who started off the movie at the beginning, because he's telling the slobbish brother, the brother that's not successful, to sort out his pipes, because there's like a dead rat down one of the pipes, or was it a mouse or a hamster or something?
I didn't know what that was.
That was
at the
quite
beginning.
an interesting start to the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Looking down, it was like, what the hell is that? You weren't quite sure inside someone's body or what it was.
Yeah, I thought it was an endoscope up someone's arse or something. It was that had that kind of internal thing, and I was just we're just starting our dinner. I was thinking, oh God, I hope this isn't up someone's arse. And then there was a dead rat, so it was all fine.
It is a fantastic cast, though. I mean, like you say, you've got Josh Radnor, Becky Ann Baker is the mother, well, the grandmother and the mother. Rob Huebel, who was in Transparent and 30 Rock, he's the brother in the soap. Chandra Russell, and we've got John Ashton. I think all the acting in it is brilliant, actually, and I like I say, I really liked the characters, even though they did have flaws and they had, there are things wrong with them, but ultimately it's about family coming together, isn't it? Even though families don't get on, they love each other. So usually, most of the time. Yeah,
the girlfriend was good. The love interest was nice as well. The way that she was sort of like, just really chilled out, and everyone else coming around. Because also we got the experience of letting out a room as well, so that's quite funny. But I was thinking, why was he letting it out when it was all shit before they decorated it? Why didn't he do it up and then rent it?
Because he was a stoned loser who just left everything to the last minute.
He didn't really think about it, did he?
That's why his mum and dad obviously know that. And they're like, "Don't worry, we'll come and help you do it."
But he'd already rented it by that point.
It wasn't his priority, though, was it? I think his priority was trying to have a successful career and failing at that, but just kind of being a bit self-absorbed, almost. That scene was funny, though, when she's lying in bed and he comes in and he's pissed and he says, "Oh, I've been smoking," and she said, "Oh, I've been smoking marijuana." That was really funny, that scene.
Yeah, that was good.
Brilliantly written, because some of the lines were so good, and she was so deadpan and so kind of, like you say, pissed off at his behaviour, and he's like stumbling around, crashing into doors, and she says, "Oh, your toothbrush is in the bathroom." But she's lying there almost like, oh, didn't want to be with him.
You see, I didn't see it like that. I saw it that they were just an old married couple that knew everything about each other and kind of knew what to expect. Because after she'd said, "Oh, everything's in the bathroom," he said, "I've been smoking," she said, "Marijuana." They then went on to have a conversation about a family member, and I can't recall what it was, but they then went on to talk about one of their kids. So it was. I just don't think it mattered. I don't think it was important. I don't think they.
It was after, I don't remember. I think it was after he punched the bloke that she got kind of pissed off, didn't she?
That was so funny, that scene.
Yeah, it was good.
I think she was annoyed with them all because she told one son to don't tell anybody, and then he tells the brother, and then the brother tells the dad, and then the dad punches the bloke. So it's like, oh, for God's sake! I didn't, she didn't want all that fuss, did she?
No.
I wonder if their intention was to make your own mind up about what did happen at the end, because that's something Mike Leigh does as well. He never really kind of wraps things up completely. It's always like a little bit open-ended at the end, and I kind of like that, even though it wasn't a depressing ending by any means, but it wasn't all resolved. But I guess it wouldn't be, would it? In real life, that family situation wouldn't be resolved,
that's
maybe.
sort of slice of life stuff, isn't it? You're feeling you're just seeing a window into someone's life, which is an ongoing thing. Which is why it felt more of a mini-series sort of thing. You could see it developing a bit more.
I like the character, this chef in the restaurant, the sort of flirty chef who was obviously trying to get off with her. And
that's another thing, because she goes back into the apartment and he's waving from the balcony.
Because she's staying with him.
Right. So there's nothing... Is there a romance
No, she's
there?
staying at his place until she finds somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why he brought the rent for, because she was going to stay for another month because he couldn't get it sorted or whatever reason it was, and then he decided, yes, I am.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, the director, Haroula Rose, says it was a lot of fun to make. The goal is for viewers to have their own lives mirrored in these characters and come away from it feeling seen. And I like that, because there were characters, I mean, especially the trans daughter, because I thought, oh, we're not going to see that trans daughter, but I'm so glad that we did, because I thought that element was going to be a little bit kind of brushed over, but it wasn't, because she ended up being a really great character and really important to the story, I thought.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't ignore her visually.
Well, I think that the film has succeeded in what it set out to do, because as we said, we could see a lot of parallels in our life with the DIY and the renting and the...
I was a bit suspicious about the decorating. There was a bit with the rollers. Were they rolling the walls?
Yeah, no, I know. It didn't look like it had any colour on the rollers. And we were looking at
You're so picky.
I said, maybe they're varnishing over a colour.
Yeah.
So it is in cinemas on the 14th of March from Bulldog Film Distribution. It is out. I'm going to hand it over to you for the star rating first. Stars out of 5.
I don't think there's enough stars. I think we need...
No! Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with that.
We can have half a star, though, can't we?
Yeah, I'd probably go with half
Not
star.
normally. Not normally.
Yeah, I mean...
You can on bloody Netflix.
Well, yeah.
3/4 of a star.
I don't know. Don't go too high, because I think the next film's better, but I'll say 3 3/4.
I am going to give it 3.5.
You're harsh, both of you. I'm giving it 5.
But that's 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is good.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I was great from the start. Loved the characters. Thought the performances were excellent. Loved the story. The writing was funny. Yeah, I'd definitely watch it again. In fact, I want Jeremy to see it. 5.
Ooh, 5. Wow.
So, Katherine, Ellis, you must be a busy bee. What gigs have you got coming up?
Have I got to tell you again?
Yeah, should we put all the details on the screen? Is that easier?
I am going to be singing at the Radisson Red in Glasgow this Friday with Head Candy.
I'm raving.
And next weekend I'm in Seville for the Legends of the 90s. With all the bands that end in the letter A. Shenna, Kelly Lorena, Capella.
Katherine Ellis, You got to change your name now, haven't you, to appear on the bill?
Well, no, because when I did my big Spanish track, Dreaming by the Rough Drivers, which was number 1 in Spain, my character was actually called Arola.
And Diva.
So it ends in A. So there you go, I'm all right.
Max Ellis, you're busy?
Making t-shirts. Look at my t-shirt.
Let's have a look. Give us a twirl, Anthea. Look at that. Can't see it, but it's really good.
You're too close! You're too close!
We got your full screen. There we go. Look at that. Can we purchase? Can we buy those?
Yeah, you can buy them. Not yet. They're one-offs though. They're not like prints. They're actually painted. But in bleach.
Can I put a link in the description box?
Yeah, I haven't actually got the shop together yet, but I'm doing it. I'm trying to get my models to wear them.
So maybe by the time we do the next review, they'll be available to buy.
My shop.
Have you got merch, Katherine?
Yes, it's available via my website, katherineellis.co.uk. There's a merch button.
Look at me. Look, I'm handing out the cash so everyone can go buy those.
Have anything you want with my face on it, from a shower curtain to a bedspread to a phone cover to a
dildo.
Probably, well, no, I don't think dildos are available, but I mean, you could get a sticker and stick it on a dildo.
That reminds me of the next film we're about to review, which is coming soon.
No pun intended.
Always a pleasure, never a chore to see you, and thank you so much. We will collaborate again on the next video, on the next review, so subscribe, everybody. Don't forget. See you on the next one.
I'm trying to move myself across a bit so I'm in the middle, and it's just getting worse. Max, what the f*** are you doing?
He's so anarchic.
So that's with the light background, and that's with the dark background.
Come on, let's get on with this.